Are you ready to walk down a path of enchantment? Dilly-dallying in Dolly World takes you to a reality with beings ranging from angels to listeners, all sharing thoughts on divergent subjects, from desserts to messages from beyond. Dilly-dallying in Dolly World with Dolly Howard begins now. Produced by Haggy Shack Radio's Colleen Kelly and broadcasting over the Wolf Spirit Radio Network.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. This is another Saturday. It is June 25th, 2016. You're listening to Dilly-dallying in Dolly World. I'm Colleen. I'm Colleen. See, I told you I was trying to wake up. I'm Dolly, the last time I checked. Colleen, you want to say hello?
Hello, Colleen.
Colleen, the producer and my friend. And we have something special going on today. Oh, but let me get the advertising stuff out of the way. You are listening to Haggy Shack Radio, who is simulcasting to the Wolf Spirit Radio. They are listener-supported stations, so please find the donate. Did I say donate or don't?
You said donate. You did it
good. Oh, hallelujah. Please find the donate button and donate whatever you can. And if you cannot donate, don't get upset. Just please join us. We love having you be with us. So, okay, for during this show, if you have questions or comments, which we love for your questions and comments to be seen, please type them in all caps so that they draw our attention and we realize that you're not speaking to other people in the chat room, that you're actually speaking to us. And so please do submit your questions and comments, because like I said, we love getting them. Now, today is going to be kind of a different show than we usually have, but yet it'll be the same. Just different roles. We have Debriel back with us. You all know Debriel from the chat. And she is going to be doing the hosting. I'm going to be sitting in the background. So she is going to do the introduction for her guest, and she'll be leading everybody on things, but we're not going to just leave her out there hanging. Colleen and I are going to be right here, and we'll probably be having comments and questions of our own. So let me turn this over to Debriel now.
Oh, thank you so much, Dolly and Colleen, and for inviting me and allowing me to come back on and bring Sandy on. We both so appreciate it. And I have to say right away, I don't think I've ever interviewed anybody, so everybody be patient with me. And Dolly and Colleen, jump in whenever you want. And Sandy's such a great speaker and has such a great book that we're going to talk about, and her multifaceted life. I'm sure we'll have a lot of fun, just like we did on our little pre-talk yesterday. It was so much fun. So here we go. I'm going to introduce Sandy Jones. She's a friend, and she's an artist and an author and a shop owner here in Ojai, California. Her website, where you can find everything about her, including her art, her book, her interviews. It's an amazing site. They've done a great job. And it's called, I'm going to spell it out, and maybe, Dolly, you can pop it in the chat. It's,
already done.
Oh, bless you. CelestialSongs.com. CelestialSong, one word, .com. And the title of her book that we're going to talk about today, which I absolutely love, is called Barefoot at Heart, The Alchemy of Love and the Power of Light, and it's available on Amazon. So first, I'm just going to give you a little bit of background. And then I want to read a few little paragraphs from her book, and then we'll bring her on. So here we go. Some of her background. Sandy is originally from Corona Del Mar, California. She moved to Aspen.
She says, hold on.
Okay.
All right. We're back.
Oh, hello. I wondered where you were. We were here.
Well, you might have been, but no one was hearing you, apparently.
Oh.
That's all right.
Skype said it dropped the call.
So did they hear the introduction?
No, I haven't even finished. I'll start.
No, Deb. I mean from when we first got on.
Yes,
okay.
They heard most of all that until Deb started to bring Sandy in.
Okay, so start over, Deb.
Okay, because I was just starting in the first few lines of the background. So I will continue, and I'll start from the very first word. So Sandy is originally from Corona Del Mar, California. She moved to Aspen, Colorado in her early 20s, where she met her husband and had 3 children together. They eventually moved to Ojai, California, where her boutique and gallery is. It's called Jones and Company. She has always had an artist's nature. Color and beauty are a necessary part of her soul. Besides painting, she's also an interior decorator. She's multifaceted, and so is her book. It's quite fun. Her first art show received honors and praise. Her work has been selected and awarded at every juried show. Her art has been shown at Down Home Furnishings, the Ojai Art Center, Half Moon Bay, Great Dames Ojai Gallery, and Woody Creek Gallery of Aspen, Colorado. You can see some of her originals in her boutique, and you can also see her art on her website, celestialsong.com. She is also the literary executor to her spiritual teacher, William Samuels, well-known author, teacher, and philosopher. As the demand for his brilliant teachings based on awareness and self-discovery continue to grow, she keeps all William Samuels' books and materials in publication through Butterfly Publishing House in Ojai. As a lover of life, a poet with the unbridled heart of an artist and the spirit of a cheerleader, it is her delight to champion you to find your own victorious, unique expression of unbound happiness and freedom. She shares her story and her heart with those who are interested in their own self-discovery and the unbound child of yourself and your divine birthright, freedom, and joy. Now, I'm going to bring her on because the part I was going to read is a little long, so let's say hi to her and have her talk a little, and then I may read that in a little bit. I would like to share it, but I'm too anxious. I'd like to bring her on. So, Sandy, welcome.
Oh, thank you so much, you girls. This is lovely to be invited here to do this with you. And that was a lovely introduction. And yes, I do a lot of things. But let me tell you, it's all because I did discover this beautiful light that we all have. And I found it and I uncovered it and I want to share it. And so that's what I'm kind of doing here. And that's what the book is about. The discovery of this sort of, it's really a fearless child. And it's who we all are. And thank you, Deb. That was wonderful. And thank you, girls, for this.
Well, now that we've got you here, could I take a minute? And then I probably...
All righty. Did we lose you guys again?
I'm still here, but I lost
I'm
Deb,
still here.
too.
I'm here.
Okay,
Yeah.
we've lost Deb.
Hello?
Deb?
Yes?
Okay, we lost you there for a second. And we've lost you now.
Okay, everybody sounds robotic, but can you still hear me?
I hear you.
I hear you now.
Okay.
Oh, she's pinging.
Let me know, okay?
But you know what?
let me know if I break up or it cuts off or we cut off. But I'm.
Oh, we lost her again.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Hello?
Maybe if you redo her part, you'll call her back or something.
Yeah, Deb, you may have to restart. Like maybe hang up and reboot your Skype or something.
Okay.
And then I'll bring you back in as soon as I see you back in.
Okay, so we'll do this and I reboot Skype? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Uh-huh.
In the meantime, Sandy was telling me about angels yesterday.
Oh, yes, I was. Well, we got in a great little conversation about angels. Yeah.
I forgot the part that I got so excited about. That's the way my mind goes.
That's adorable.
Okay, the whole dang thing. Hold on, damn it. Okay, that's kind of weird. All right, I'm going to call again and see what's going on. That is just strange. All right, who do we have? We have Sandy.
Hello.
We have Dolly.
Boy, are we having a heck of a time, and I even asked the angels about it.
I know he dropped the whole call when Deb went
Yeah,
off.
after Deb went away, yeah.
That's just weird.
Is Sandy back?
I'm here. Yes, I am.
So you two go ahead and continue, and when Deb comes, I'll bring her in.
So you want to tell us about your angels?
Yes. First, let's start with that. What I was telling you yesterday was that because all of us apparently have these angels in our lives, and you understand this. But many years ago, I would have these vivid, lucid dreams.
Oh yeah, I remember.
Yes, remember? Mm-hmm. And I think you said that you had heard that too, but I would be taken to this celestial realm, and that's why I named the website Celestial Song, but I would be taken to this heavenly realms in these vivid, lucid dreams, and I would hear these choirs of angels singing. And it was so glorious and so profound and so amazing. And it would just be vibrating through my whole body. But the funny part was that I was telling you, when I would wake up from these beautiful trips to this other dimension, I felt that I could sing like that. And I would try to sing out loud, and it would never, never be even close to what the magnificent beauty was of this incredible place that I was taken in my dreams. Anyway, I've always had angel guidance, and part of my book, I don't really write about angels too much in the book, but I will tell you that book was every part of that book was guided by angels. I know that. They would wake me in the middle of the night, and they'd say, oh, you have to just hone that little sentence and make it touch the heart and get it a little better. And I would do that, and it was guided. And when you read it, I have people who just, they truly love this book. It touches something of a higher place, or their heart, or it's taking them somewhere else. So it's been really lovely to do this.
Well, tell them about when you came back and you tried singing.
Oh, that was the funny part. I mean, I would be just vibrating with this energy of this angelic dimension and the sounds. And twice I got, this is in this lucid, vivid dream thing, but twice I got asked to sing a solo. And when I sang the solo in the dream, it was like a sound, a voice that was beyond this world. Mm-hmm. And when I woke up, I thought, oh my gosh, I can still feel it. I can hear it. You know how you can hear a song in your mind and you go, oh, I can sing that song. And I tried to sing like an angel, like that angelic place I'd been. and my voice would just come out and it would just be like, oh my God, it wasn't even close, and I just go, no way, can't go back unless I'm taken there, so, but it was funny. It was pretty funny trying to sing like an angel. In this world, in this realm, it's like, boy, not the same.
Thank you so much for sharing that. Okay, Deb's back. You want to take over, Deb?
I don't know. I don't know if it'll let me read that part, but that's exactly why I wanted to bring you on, Sandy, because your book, when I would sit and read it, I would laugh, I would cry, I underlined things, I would read some of it to my friends, and you just really caught the essence of what I think a lot of us are looking for here, and it's so simple, but yet it takes such a journey to find. And I just thank you for the great job you did. I haven't quite seen a book like this or the way you expressed it. You just have a delightful way of expressing and writing. So thank you.
Oh, Deb, thank you too. I have had so many lovely compliments about the way I wrote it, but that was part of that. Yeah, that was part of that angelic guidance. It kept saying, don't teach anything. Don't tell anybody anything. Everybody's heart knows these things. Yeah. And so it was to touch that. It was almost like I had to take you to, with the words, it's very poetic, I know that, and it's very metaphorical, and it's unusual, and I knew that, and I kept saying, are you sure I'm supposed to write it like this? And yet I kept hearing, yes, just keep doing it like that. Trust yourself, trust this whole thing. And that's what I did. I just expressed in metaphor. It's almost poetry. It isn't, but it is, and it's to open a door to this other dimension, and I think I did it for many people. They have felt it. Yeah.
You did. Okay, I'm going to try it. We'll see if it stays on, and then I'll put the book down, but let's see if it'll let me do it, if I'm supposed to. Okay, this is in your book, Barefoot of the Heart, page 119. I'm starting part way down, and I'm going to read it and 120. And it says, you wrote, as I live this childlike awareness being, I am effortlessly aware. Are we still here? Okay. Oh, no. Really? Okay,
no,
Sandy.
We're still here. I was muted.
Okay, something happened. I'm like, I can't believe it. Okay, I'm sorry. Okay. I am effortlessly aware. I find this daily experience expanding into undreamed new action. And I find I have the strength and means necessary for that action. I am this sweet, boundless self-awareness. I am the pure state of childlike awareness that sits here right now at the right hand of reality/God. I am forever and always here as all-inclusive life. I am the child, the soul, the light, and the love that God is. The little girl I was, bold and happy, she has come back to me. She is my one true heart. She is my Messiah and Redeemer. She lets me understand things that once were nearly impossible to see and know. If we are sincere in our search, life will not give up on us. Life itself is the discipline. We cannot escape the hard teachings, and we should not want to. It was the pain and the loss and the sorrow that led me home. See, it already touches me. Excuse me for a minute. Okay. It was the living the hard teachings and embracing them, not trying to escape life, because I also see many people try to escape it. It was using every situation as a lesson that led to freedom and the return home. Now in that freedom, I am not trying to make life secure and safe or perfect. Now I am free from fear and I am living the sweet totality of life, always in love with it all. The images are harmless, and yet this is is the joy and wonder of life. All means all, and life includes all the images within myself. Losing something I most cherished turned out to be the proverbial, last straw, the thing that brought me home. Losing all I had placed so much value in, then realizing where the real value, where the changeless and eternal life is, this genuine freedom. This is the genuine freedom. Life will do its work for us. Life will uncover and reveal the truth to us. Sometimes even if we do not want to see it, it will show us anyway. I had no choice but to let it show me the way. I had to yield to this ineffable love, and when I did, it was very good. I had to let life do what it does. Then out of the shocking days, to look up and around and see that everything was returned to me, that all was truly divine and very good. It is love and it is all good. I ended up reaping all that was real, the living Holy Spirit, the unseen eternal love, and all the benefits of this love's powerful beauty and intelligence. I found freedom through surrender. I came home. Now all I thought I had lost was returned to me and added to 10 times 10 in ways only the heart can understand. And that's it.
Wow.
Wasn't that powerful? I just feel that so powerful.
I even listened to it and go, that's beautiful. That's not true. I mean, it is exactly how it went, and it's very true. Yeah. And you know, that whole thing about when sometimes it's like we think we're losing everything, and yet if you stay open to that, wide open to life, you get filled up with so much more. It's quite remarkable, this whole journey we're all on.
And I think that's the door we all walk through if we allow ourselves and don't run from it. I've had people that have mentioned to me, oh, you've gone through the door. And there's a whole bunch of people on the other side right at the door but can't walk through. And I never really understood why. But I don't know about you. Does it feel like just being with life, being with all of it, the good, the bad, the ugly, the joy, the pain, and just feeling it? And then when you go through that, oh my goodness, I don't know, you're filled with so much joy on the other side of it. I don't know.
Yes, no, exactly. That's how it feels to me, because in a very interesting way, I came back to life. It was like my spiritual journey. I thought I was going to, I don't know, escape this world somehow, you know, through God or through truth and yet on that journey, it brought me all the way back to being here in this world with everything alive, to the incredible magic and mystery of being here. This is profound to be here. Existence itself is it's sacred, it's holy, it's profound, it's deep, it's a wonder. And now I'm living in the world, which is really interesting, but not the same world that I left behind. How do you explain it? You can't, you know?
Well, that's why they say be in the world but not of it, but we are in it, because I find that too. I did the same thing, and, you know, to escape it, and I didn't for the longest time. I thought, oh, I'm going to ascend it, or I'm going to this or that, but really, it's all here right now, and all of it, what we can see and what we can't see. And like you said, it's all in the heart and the little child, and just, it's a lot like that. Once you get to that, being back or close to when we were young, when you didn't have all these mental constructs or were afraid and all those things, if you ever were.
Yes, exactly. I mean, I think we all, at the beginning, we are all these pure, beautiful, bright little innocent children, and then it gets all covered up, and then we start getting afraid. And I think this is the nature of the journey. The nature of life is that we are, in order to it's almost like you have to rediscover something to know how beautiful it is, you know? It's like when you lose something and then it comes back, it's like, oh, now you really appreciate it. So, yes, and in this journey, we cover up that beauty that it's almost like before we came into the world, we were in this maybe, let's say, heavenly beautiful state of presence or being or something, you know, running around in the beautiful meadows of God's heavenly, you know, playground, you know, and then we come into this world and we've still got that purity and that beauty, but some little kids even get clobbered practically as soon as they're born, you know, their lives are just, they start covering up that beauty. And that's part of the journey. We kind of have to do that. But that original core, that essence, that child is never harmed, never hurt, never changed. It's an immutable, it's like the essence of life itself. It's like that, like I said, it like sits right next to God. And that is the spark we bring into this world, and it'll never go out, and you can reclaim it and refine it. And then life comes back again and you start living this joyful beauty, just like you did as a little kid, you know, just like you said. And you're right. It includes now, I am not trying to make it a perfect world in that sense of preventing bad things from happening or what I would consider bad, because now I realize everything is perfect just the way it unfolds. It may not seem like maybe something I want, but it's unfolding the way it's supposed to, and it's all a part of this whole totality of light and dark and good and bad and all these things going on. And yet the stillness and the beauty of the child understands all that, but isn't really overtaken by those things, or those we start to realize it's all just beauty happening, you know?
I call that you've moved into a new reality.
Yes, exactly.
A lot of us here have moved into a new reality that we are making. We make our realities. And it seems that we have had enough of the other reality we've come from, and something has happened in our life to make us realize, I don't want all that crap anymore, so I'm going to live in this new reality that I want to live in.
I think that's exactly what it's like, yes. It's almost, and in many ways, that's what makes it kind of like a childlikeness, too, because it's like children can just be anywhere they want to be, you know, really, in their little world of imagination and everything, and to start to create in that sense, just to see that there's beauty everywhere. You begin to live that beauty, because one way or another, it's like you're living it and you see it, or you're seeing it and you're living it. I don't know which way it goes, but somehow the heart is open and loving and embracing this world. And, it is. It's a third, to me, and I wrote this in the book, it's as if there's a third place, and that's where this sort of alchemy happens. There's this third dimension that's right here in the middle of the world. And you can live in it. It's peaceful and beautiful and harmonious and sweet and happy. And there's freedom and fearlessness, and still in the world, but it's extraordinarily mystical, I guess, you know, right here in the middle of everything. There's this mystical beauty that you're living in.
Yeah. I see there's a couple questions, so I'm going to read them out right now to you, if that's okay, maybe one at a time. And well, I'll read them both. They're right there. Vanessa asks, how do we reclaim that spark? And now O'Clock asks, what makes you think that the root of nature of all humans is good? So,
okay. Well, first let's do the first one. How to reclaim that spark.
yeah.
Well, this goes back to my teacher, who I would, you were mentioning too. I had a teacher, his name was William Samuel. Not many people have heard of him, but he was writing the kinds of things that Eckhart Tolle is writing nowadays, but he was doing that in the 50s and 60s. He kind of came out of the metaphysical era that was sort of blossoming in the 50s. And he was a wonderful teacher. He really saw this light and this truth. Eventually, and I studied with him when probably late 1970s, I found him and I started to study with him. And William Samuel is his name, and you can get his books. But more than anything was his last book that he wrote, and it was called The Child Within Us Lives. And it was the most profound and insightful and powerful book I'd ever read. And in that, he kept telling me, just keep trusting this. Just keep trusting this. You're finding it. You're finding it. And when you read that book, it's so interesting. It's almost a magical book. It takes you to, first you don't understand it. And then you read it again and you go, oh yeah, I get it. And then you read it again and you go, oh, I get it. And every time you read that book, you have been transformed by it, honestly. Now, finding that childlikeness he talks about in there, but it's really just a journey back to understanding and remembering the beauty that you were as a child. And truly remember, bring it back. Bring back those memories. Bring back what it felt like. And nurture that. And we do. And the other question was, how do I know we're all good? Or how was that?
What makes you think that the root nature of all humans is good?
Yes. Well, that's interesting. I would say because I feel that the whole realm of existence, to exist, comes out of goodness, comes out of love. I mean, this whole expression of life that we're living, this sense of being, comes out from, it exists because the source of it is good. And there's nothing that is opposite of life. Life is all there is. And life is good. And everything that comes out of that has the core of, even though it looks like, you look around and you go, oh, that's not good, and that happened, and that's terrible, and they're really bad people. But I truly feel that the essence, the true essence of who we are is always goes back to love and to something good. It has to, I think, because that's the only thing that really exists. I mean, that's how life exists, is from something which I call God, and that God, or that presence, or that life, that reality which creates this world is always good. It is good. And everything stems from that. That's how I see it.
Thank you for answering that.
Yeah. They also commented, in Jewish thought, the heart is supposed to be the third ear. Listen with the heart. That's kind of interesting.
Oh, that's beautiful. Yes, that's exactly right. That's how it was for me. I always go by way of my heart. And to open the heart, and to say that it does. The heart is intelligent. It hears, it listens, it knows. That's where all the power is in the heart. And I feel like when I talk about the child and the heart are inseparable. They could almost be the same thing. It's living from that hearing and that listening. That's a beautiful way to say that. But it's all about the heart, and being completely, it's like it's open. It's like you're open and you're letting life come to you and embrace you and come through you. And in that, there's such a power and an essence in life itself. It does the work for us. It really does. It lifts us and it washes through us, and it makes everything beautiful and new, and it really does. So you can put yourself open yourself to life itself, and it's like, it's an energy of beautiful, pure magic that just keeps moving through you, and moving things along and showing you the to listen and watch and follow it. And it's quite magical, but it is the heart, definitely. That's a beautiful point to make, yes.
And when you talk about that, and we're talking about this, it's often said that it's the resistance to what is happening, or the resistance instead of being open, like you say, and letting it flow, that often will cause the pain, because we want it to be different than it is, and we kind of want it our way or to control it. And it's almost in that allowing, in that non-resistance, even if we don't like it, where all of a sudden the magic can occur if we allow it.
Yes, it is. That's exactly right. Yes, because when we resist, we get, but that resistance itself is fear, and fear, it just blocks everything. And to love is this openness, even like when you're in love, when you're just simply in love with somebody, you feel so, it's like that joy of it. You're so open and you just want them in your life and you want them in your arms. And, well, it's like you're doing that same kind of feeling of love toward life itself, towards this whole huge universe, and it just loves you back, and you go, wow, this is nice. And it's a non-resistance, and trusting, not trusting that it's going to be your way, like you said, but just trusting that whatever way it's going to be the right way.
It's such a gift. I remember when I was young, I'd read a lot, and I remember reading, okay, when you're in love, that it is possible. And at that point, of course, I wasn't even close to that. I read it and I think, well, how could that be? That you could be in love all the time and it wouldn't be dependent on someone else's love for you or your love for them or actual person or object. It could just be life. So I always used to say, I believe that, and that's what I want ultimately. And then it took a long time, but then I don't even know what the day was it came. And so when I read your book, that it totally, you summed it up and explained it so beautifully, that feeling. And it is, I truly believe that is possible for each and every one of us. I truly do. It's like being back to your authentic self, being really in a state of gratitude, and just being with, what is. But go ahead and continue.
Well, no, that was beautiful. Exactly. And that is exactly what for you to have understood and felt that from reading my book is just beautiful, because you've been through the same, you've seen that too. And it's about life. Mm-hmm. Yes, like being in love, but you don't have to have somebody else. It's like,
or even something.
Yes?
Most people go, I'll be happy when, or I'll be happy. Why not? And happy isn't even the goal. But, why not be grateful for every moment that's happening? And then the more you tap into that, and the more you're in that appreciation, and there will be times when you're not as, when you fall a little, but then it just builds on itself, and then you start looking around and you're like, oh my gosh, this place is just the most amazing thing, just like our bodies. It is all unreal. It's miraculous, and it's weird, and it's wild, and it's beautiful.
That's exactly right. Yes. And
even in all the things that we see on the TV or things we don't like, that's still, it's just a big creation. So yes. What are you going to focus on, and how are you going to use your attention, your energy, and how are you going to add to your life and others? I don't know. I'm getting carried away.
No, you do know. No, I think that was beautiful. That's exactly it. Yes. That's lovely. It is.
Got it. That's why I was so excited when you saw your book, because I've come to a similar place, in the last couple of years, and I was like, oh my gosh, I don't have to write a book now. You did it. You summed it up, and I've read a lot over the years. I haven't read anything like this. So, and I think maybe just reading this, and I know you had shared some of William Samuel's other books with me, when I first met you, and I may look into that last one that you had mentioned, again. So,
right.
What was the title of that one again?
The Child Within Us Lives.
Okay.
And then it has like a subtitle, The Synthesis of Science, Metaphysics, and Religion, or something like that. But it's a beautiful book. It's just amazing. He was one of those people who, he saw these days coming, and he wrote that book way back in 96. And 86 actually. He wrote that book in 86. And you could see that he had like a prophecy. He could almost see what was going to be happening, and that how everybody was going to start to understand the more, and he calls it the subjective view, which is sort of the totality of all things, the presence of God as this life that we're living. He was kind of talking about the non-duality and that sort of thing before Eckhart Tolle, got so popular with Oprah and all that. But he was way back in the day talking about that very same thing, except that he brings it to a beautiful space where you can actually make it personally your very own way of living in the world, rather than eliminating. This is what the point of my book almost gets down to, is I realize that rather than eliminating myself, such as, get rid of the ego, or there's supposed to not be a me sense, or there's supposed to be no identity, or all that non-duality stuff that they say, who is this, who are you, do you really exist? And I went through that. And what I came out as understanding was that, yes, there is a me. And it's beautiful. It's extraordinary. That is where all the power is in this self-knowing, is in the uniqueness and the divine beauty of who you really are. And each one of us has this essence, this core, this light, this soul. And it's unique, and it's special, and it's yours, and it's creative, and it's it's who you are. And when you come back around and rediscover yourself, reclaim your own identity as truly as an individual, and yet not separate, not something that's sort of, separate from this world. It's like, oh no, it's the world entire. And yet it's expressing uniquely as you and your beauty and your divine gifts and your creativity. And you start to become very powerful. And there's an energy in rediscovering yourself, and you become inventive, creative, imaginative, kind of all the things that in some ways I was trying to get rid of because I thought, oh, that's your ego, or, oh, if you want to do that, isn't that my ego wanting to do that? Should I mean, it was always kind of a conflict. And now there's such a joy and freedom to be myself, and the contentment and the beauty and the harmony and the tranquility of being who I am, and knowing that each of us gets to be who we are. And the love just gets so happy, fun, it's like, oh, I love you because I love you the way you are. And that's what starts happening. It's like, I don't care how you are. I love you the way you are. And it's just like, wow, because the love for who I am the way I am, and I'm not anything better or more but the beauty of who I am is the same beauty of who you are in your own special way. And I know it. I know that. And so it's a gift, because
it is a gift.
The love for life and for everyone else for their own unique way, it just changes everything completely to start to really love yourself, which is, that's something we've always heard, but not until you really know what that means and find it and claim it and do it and live it. I mean, you can't help but love it, because it's, it is this child of God. I mean, how could I not love a child of God, And that, right. It's almost like I'm looking at myself from two of me, almost, in a way. It's like, yes, this child holds my hand. Yes, the heart of me guides me. Yes, the child comes to me and is with me and walks with me and shows me the way. And it's almost like the child is my twin. And I'm still here being me in the world. And yet there's this grace that walks with me all the time now. And I can turn around and ask her anytime, like, what should we do with this? How should we handle this? And this childlikeness is right there with me, showing me the way. And I know everybody has this child, because we're all here and we were all born as children. So I know we all have this Holy Spirit in us, this divine glimmer and spark and flame. And the beauty is that everyone's is different. Everyone is so special. That's what I love so much.
Wow. And you really have that down. I'm still working on that. In fact, I have a good friend in my life right now that I'm really, and it's like not being judgmental of your different parts of yourself. Not only them, but what'll happen is to not, like you said, even judge what's happening, but I still have that tendency to want to overhelp when I just should allow them to be unless they're asking. And then what part of and then I judge myself, for trying to help or change anything. So I'm still in that little part. I'm aware of it and I'm getting shown it a lot, but I would not say my clarity or my practice I am not quite there yet. But that's okay. But you definitely are.
It is okay because, and this is the other part of this, is I really do believe this, as long as we're all here in this world of time, space, tangible world experience, in a body, in form, having to eat and having to take care of things and have this body form world, as long as we're here, it's going to be always learning something new.
Yeah.
Something's always wanting to be showing me this, or, to learn, just to learn, to be open to learning. And I think that's what we're doing here. As long as I'm here, I'm going to always be learning. And that's the beautiful part too, is it's almost like I said, it's almost like there's two of me, because the child is absolutely pure, absolutely perfect. And that is the heart of me. And yet, I'm not perfect. And I'm living in this world, which is not an easy world to live in. And so you call upon this child. You're always with this childlikeness. You come back to it all the time. And it does take you through and make it it smooths the path. It makes it easier, and you don't let's say, beat yourself up for having, said this wrong or done that wrong, or it's like you take that moment as fresh and learning, and you learn, and you say, oh, okay, that's good. I learned that one. Good for me, And
can I interject something that Chris Steiner from the chat said?
Sure.
To yourself, to everyone, to everything, everywhere, say to God, there you are. You can play hide and seek with me, but your cleverness is in me to reveal you more and more. And that fits right in with what you're saying.
That's beautiful.
Exactly. Yes, and as long as we're in this world, that's the beauty. And that was beautifully said, because that's exactly it. As long as we're here, it's like you're saying, okay, reveal more of me to me. Show me more of this beauty. Show me more of who I am. And every time you learn something, you get to see how much more beautiful you are. And you go, wow, that was cool. Let's try that. Let's do that again. I'll take another lesson. It's like every time the light shines brighter, and you truly do fall in love with yourself, which is a funny thing, but it's true.
Yeah. And you're not in love with them in the fairy tale sense we're taught by Disney or whatever. You're truly just in love with them as their essence of a being, and life and yourself. You're right. Yes. And it's hard to explain, but you did it great in the book. But we aren't really taught this in our society or the way the world is. We may have to come on it, but maybe in this time, like Dolly said, where everything is shifting, a lot of us are not, we know something's off. And we have a feeling it could be better. And I've had people get mad at me before, but to me it's always really simple, but it's not necessarily easy to come across or do, but it's much simpler than we try to make it, or we make things so complicated when it's just getting back to the simple and the purity of things. I don't know.
No, yes, that's exactly right. And that's why my friend William Samuel called it the child, is exactly why he calls it that, is because it is so simple. But the intellectual, let's say the intellectual old man doesn't want it simple. They want it complicated and intellectually better than somebody else, and you can understand something it's all this complexity, and that's
because our world values that intellect, and then that makes it more meaningful somehow. But really, it's the opposite to me.
Yes. Yes, exactly. The more intellectual you sound, or the more, I don't know.
You can explain.
Yeah,
Make
structured, or yes, it is. It's an intellectual game that some people really like playing, but the child doesn't play games. The child is completely free, and we call it the child because it is that simple purity. It doesn't have to impress anybody. It just lives as sweet and innocent as we were as little children. You just, playing in the puddles and looking around and going, wow, isn't life just amazing?
And how many of us can remember that? Most of us, we get to ages and we kind of have a vague recollection, but we have no idea how to get back to that. But we remember it. We were freer. And a lot of people don't even remember that part, after life does so much. But it is a great joy. And we all have it, and we came in with it. And it's here. It hasn't gone anywhere. It's almost like we did.
Exactly. Yeah. It's like we were the ones that walked away from that childlikeness. But as I say, I know that that's part of the journey too, that we do kind of have to leave it behind. It's sort of like the story of the prodigal son, has to go off and explore the world and find out how really disastrous it is until they say, wait, I want to go home. I just want to go home, And when you go home, you actually go back to your heart. You go back to yourself. You return to that core identity you always were. And what a beauty. It's like, that's what was so amazing to me. I just went, wait, you mean I don't have to change anything? I don't have to be something, special or know anything? Or no, you don't. You just get to be who you are.
Okay, ladies, it's top of the hour. And we take a break at this point. So, when we come back, you can continue this conversation.
Thank you.
Has it seemed like an hour to you?
No, that went fast.
Yeah, it did. Okay, Colleen, you want to give us a break?
I sure will. I've got The Golden Dancing Shoes by Andreas Wollenweider, or Wollenweider. Walt, where are you when I need you? Here we go. And it's about 5.5 minutes.
Alrighty, thanks.
You're welcome.
See you on the other side, people.
Or less. We're back.
Hello.
Hello.
Boy,
Everybody's
that
back?
was a bad connection with that song.
Yes, I think it was.
For real?
I hope the listeners didn't hear it the way I did.
Oh. Sounded great through my system.
It was pretty bad.
Mine was too. It was really rough.
Well, everybody, you all sound good to me. Do you all sound good to each other?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I sound okay?
Yes, for me, yes.
Okay, well.
Before we start the discussion, I know we thought in Skype, and Sandy, I don't know if you know how, but in the Wolf Spirit chat, there's a little sound symbol at the bottom, and you can click it. It'll turn off the sound of the clicking messages coming through. I don't know. I have a feeling that might be you.
Yeah, I usually click that so the sound is off. When they type in the chat and it goes in the chat, it does a click sound.
Yeah.
And after a while, it can be irritating, so I usually mute that.
Okay. I just did that.
That'll help. I had a feeling it was you, but I didn't want to interrupt, so since we just had the little break. But now we'll go ahead and continue, and we probably won't hear that anymore. No worries. You don't know. You're new at this.
Right.
Just like, yeah.
Yeah, see, the little girl of me is learning something new.
Oh my gosh.
We all had to learn it too, Sandy.
Yeah. Totally. Even
And
yesterday.
Dave taught it to me in a very rough way.
Damn it, Dolly.
Yeah. Hey, Dolly, mute that sound.
Uh-oh.
Okay, Dave, tell me how.
Well, you taught me quite a few things just yesterday. That was really fun learning how to get on here and do all this. So thank you. Yeah.
You come a long way. You were quick at it too. You go, oh, you just do this, this, and this.
Yeah. Are we back on, or are we just? Oh, we are. Okay,
You
cool.
are live.
Okay, there is. I'm noticing somebody wrote, and I thought this was so beautiful. It looks like her name is Vanessa Sam, and she says, and it gives strength to others as well. That is so touching and beautiful to me. Thank you, Vanessa. That is like exactly right. I know when I live this joy of my heart, when I just be who I am as daringly and boldly and fearlessly as my heart shows me how, it does bring strength to others. It is a light that it's so full of love and energy that cares and nurtures, and I don't do it. It's not like something I do. It's something that just, you can tell people really respond to it in the sense that they grasp something in their own heart and say, oh, that's beautiful. And they're recognizing their own beauty. And that, to me, is truly a powerful gift of this.
Uh-oh.
I mean, that's how we're going to heal this whole world.
We lost you for a while, Sandy.
Oh, I heard
No,
her.
we didn't.
We
No, I
did?
heard. Maybe we lost you, Dolly.
Oh, that could be. Sorry, I'll be quiet.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway, yeah, that was just a beautiful, way of saying that. It gives strength to others as well. And I think that's the joy of this, is that as we express, that's why it isn't like, you can't say this is egotistical or ego or however they call that. Because as you express your true self, the joy is watching others wake up to that beauty in them, in their self. And that's when, I mean, that's so much, that's like a freedom to love and to care so that others, you watch others being it too. It's like, wow, joy of joy. You know, when somebody goes, oh, I got it. It's like that, their joy is my joy. Their love is my love. Their happiness is my happiness. And so you know this is a completely different way of living where I don't need something. I just keep living this light and it does heal somehow or bring strength to others, like you said. I thought that was so nice. I love that.
It's so true. It's like you being in that space and being gentle and loving and your authentic self or your child self and just being and appreciating the persons with you, then it allows them to feel appreciated and safe and loved and nurtured and to bring out that in themselves. And because sometimes other people almost have to be in that space to let others know it's okay, and that happens on many rounds. Like when I used to have clients, nobody would talk about.
Oh, hey, wait a minute. Who's doing what?
I don't know.
It's like somebody's working in the kitchen or messing with paper or something like that, and it's interfering in the show.
Okay. Yeah, we're good here. I mean, I don't know. It's not happening now. So
Yeah, I don't hear it now.
I didn't hear it, yeah.
yeah. So it's like that, it like allows for everyone to have that side come out, because I've noticed a lot of people I don't know how to put this. They aren't shown that. There aren't that many people, well, maybe there's more now, that are in that space, and so they don't even realize that that's okay. They don't have to be somebody they're not. Like, a lot of people are really always trying to prove something or be approved, and so if you're relaxed and natural and in yourself, and that allows the other person to go there without feeling the judgment, and then then I think the magic starts to happen, maybe. I don't know. See what you think, Sandy. I don't know if
No, you said that beautifully. That's exactly right. Because the more, and that was kind of how I was saying, the more I be myself, and this is this true, authentic, childlike self that isn't trying to pretend anything, but is truly innocently sincere and right here. And the more you be that beautiful self, and each person's is very special and beautiful in their own way. And somehow, you're right, by being that, it allows others
to kind of come out,
too, and they feel freer, and they feel more open, and they feel your love. I know people, I have been more loved in the last, whatever many years that I've discovered this. The love that comes to me has been amazing. I get more, just kind, good, beautiful people in my life that want to give to me, they want to help me, they share, I don't know, I can't explain it, but everybody is so beautiful. And so I guess that's a reflection of that child heart of me, is bringing out the child strength and beauty of them. And no matter what it looks like, too. Like I said, it doesn't matter to me how it's expressed. It's always so joyful and fun and interesting and different and alive. The aliveness of this thing is incredible. That's the other thing, is you know how Tolle or all these guys talk about being in the now? Well, this is not like trying to be in the now. This is like the energy and the power of this life, this vitality, this joy. It's like you're in it. You can't help but be this energy, this liveliness, this enthusiasm, this happiness, because you're like riding it like a wave, like something's lifted you up. Yeah, like a wave, like you're riding a wave. Yeah. I guess that's the old ancient life force itself that they used to call Tao in Taoism. The Tao of life is that life force energy. And when you're wide open and letting it rush through you, you literally feel like you're lifted, just living in this powerful energy. And that has to influence everybody else. It just does,
Do you come across people occasionally, I've had this experience a little, where when they're around you, a lot of people will automatically just brighten, but then some people, it's kind of funny, you can watch because they're confused, and then they might think you're not real, or for a second, just in the very beginning, or because they're so used to people with agendas or people that might want something from them, and that they think, maybe she's Pollyanna or she's putting on an act. But then what I find out is the longer they're in your field, they do start to relax and soften, and then they actually start smiling and having fun. Have you run across that with just strangers periodically? I know the town we live in doesn't have a lot of that, but I have encountered that. Do you ever get that? But it always turns out well. But do you ever feel that, like, from people?
No, I really don't. I guess I just kind of like, it doesn't matter to me what they're thinking. I'm just gonna just enjoy and love who they are and be and if they want to think whatever they want to think, it's like, that's fine, and because this energy is so, it is so real, and it isn't mine. It isn't like it belongs to me. So I'm not concerned about that. I don't really even notice.
So you never see that little flash. Oh, you don't notice everything. So you don't see that little flash across their eyes, because I read energy so well, and it just gives me a little giggle. It doesn't change anything in me.
Right.
I'm just like, oh, and then I just smile, and sometimes I don't know, it's hard for me to tone down unless I'm really tired, but I may tone it down a notch, and maybe I'm too exuberant at that moment, but then they usually really get a kick out of it. But I just wondered if you had ever noticed that around, because a lot of people aren't used to happy, joyous people.
That could be probably, maybe that's true. I don't know. Okay,
I was just curious.
Yeah, no, I haven't really noticed that. I mean, and I have to deal with a lot of, just people who come into my store every day too. And so I don't really know them, they're just, they're customers, and I'm always just really, be myself with them. And, some people don't even know me, so they're not interested. They're just wanting to go shopping, So I don't know. I don't kind of notice that. But I love the whole journey of just watching everything.
Too.
But, it's all unfolding in this such a beautiful, magical way. It's like you just never know what wonderful surprise is going to walk in, and it does. Yeah.
Yep. Aw, great. Well, where would you like to go next? I don't know if anyone else has questions, or Dolly or Colleen, if anything, or Sandy, is there something you'd really like to touch on that we haven't, or more you'd like to elaborate on, or I don't know.
Well, I could tell you also that this childlikeness that I found, the other amazing thing that I actually was astounded by, I saw it happen to me, was that in many ways, I became younger. It was the weirdest thing. I did. I mean, physically, I'm not a young lady. I'm not, I could be somebody's grandmother. And yet, oh my gosh, I started to physically transform. It was the most amazing thing. And everything, my vitality, and even physically, everything, I feel so young. I feel like I'm 20 years old. And it's so funny because I just go, wow.
Is a key word to it. It's a vital force, and it does. And when it takes you over, I call it youthing, because it happened to me, and I feel like I'm in my 20s now too. And everybody goes, "Oh, I'm getting older," and I'm like, "Well, I'm youthing," even though I know what age I'm supposedly at. But it is a vitality. That's a really good way to express it, I think.
Yeah. And I literally saw my whole physical being kind of like going, wait, this is just amazing. I mean, my energy level and even, I don't know. I can't explain it, but it was pretty funny. And I'm enjoying it. I'm going, Yeah.
Yep.
And the other thing is, for me, and this is one of the things I think I often mentioned in the book, was this childlikeness. For some reason, whatever it is, and it I guess maybe it is just because it is something all children have, but there's a fearlessness about this.
Which gives you the freedom, like you were saying.
Yes, exactly. It gives me the freedom because I'm just not afraid to try this or do that or see what happens or whatever's gonna, well, yeah, life keeps challenging us. Life keeps coming at us. And yet this fearless joy, it says kind of almost like, well, let's just see what we can do with this. Let's just see what happens here. Let's give it a try. Let's, and every time I do walk into it like that and do that, it sort of leads me and allows me to do what I need to do and find the way to do it. It's quite an amazing gift. I do believe, and this is also in the book, and really another main reason I wrote it, I really feel like, for me, do you guys hear that little blip on your...
Yes.
I'm hearing it.
I thought I turned mine off.
Yeah, that could be a Skype one.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. How do you turn the Skype sound off?
Go up to Tools.
Okay.
Up at the top.
Yes.
Okay, Options.
Yes. Okay.
Sounds. And
sorry about this.
That's okay. Go over there to Enable All Sounds. Make sure it says... If it says Enable All Sounds, then that means you've got them turned off. So that when we chat in the chat here...
So it says mute all sounds, so I should hit that,
yes,
right?
Yes, and then save it at the bottom.
That was me, you guys. I just did it. Sorry.
That's okay. And you got set, you hit save, and then you're good.
Okay, did it. Thank you.
You're right. You're welcome. And maybe some people in the chat learned that as well.
Yeah.
Online training.
If we hear it again, then maybe it's mine too, because I didn't quite follow how to do that, but I think mine's already off. So
okay, we'll let you know.
Okay.
All right. I'm muting now.
So Sandy, it's like being more adventurous, taking life more of as a venture and playing, like turning it a little bit more into play like children do instead of so serious like adults do, maybe.
Yes, exactly. That's exactly right.
Like life or death, even though things can be life or death or seemingly certain things, but most of it isn't as serious. Like we tend to constrict our world really little into these one things and get stuck on them. And we forget to play and have fun, and it's like really a relaxing into yourself, relaxing into life, into nature, into the world, into each other, into that, we're here to enjoy, which is like almost a bad thing to say sometimes, it seems.
Right. Well, yes. And and of course you've read my book and you realize that a lot of my book becomes very almost sensual in the way I write, because it's like, yes, this whole world has come alive and I feel the beauty of everything, and that's a lot of fun.
I can read everything. It has to do with just that, because, I've highlighted different parts, and I haven't marked them all because I didn't want to read the whole thing on air, but on page 149 you say just that. Life is sensuous, I live in this sort of ethical, holy, divine elation maybe. I am in love with the eternal light behind all things. My senses have come alive. And that's what it feels like. All of a sudden, it's that vitality and that vibrance. And that's what shows up in your artwork. And that's how we met, because of color. Because I read colors and your art is so colorful. But this world is so colorful, even if it doesn't show up as a color. Just the vibrancy and the aliveness of the energy in us and around us is amazing. But when we're closed down and that child isn't there and the heart isn't open, and we miss all that. And
that's exactly right, Deb. Yeah. Yes, it is. It's like that's what's happened to me. It's like everything has come alive. I mean, the colors and the radiance and the beauty of just a simple little everyday looking around at the room. It's like, wow, it just is vibrating with.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's, that. Yes.
Yeah, it's hard, I think, and it's hard to explain really how to get there. Like you said, it's a process, and let life take it and just be open. And I used to want to run from all my feelings, and I don't now, even when they're uncomfortable. And when you allow that and do it, that starts opening the door, I think, to it. Because a lot of people get really stuck in the depression and pain, and I'm not saying that's bad, but it closes off all the magic of it. And I'm not saying that there aren't going to be minutes of intent or moments of intense, where nothing looks magical, but it's a trip here. It's a trip, and it is a magical trip. Oh, there was a line. Okay, I got to read one more. In your introduction, I love this. You had said in the very front of your book, Sandy, and somebody might have wrote this for you, is a starry-eyed, unbridled lover of life and sails the cosmic fields of light. And that's what it all is here, light. And
Yes.
those are the waves we're riding, and they're vibrant, and they're electric, and they're vibrational, and it's alive. Everything is alive.
Yes, no, that's exactly right. And that's why the book is written like in a way, like you said, and as I tell you, other people have said that too. It's so unusual because I'm really not teaching anything.
No.
I'm bringing you to this place so that you can feel it yourself. And that was my intention, to just touch the heart, open the heart, so that just through words, just through me being in this place and writing from this beauty, that the reader would feel it like in a direct kind of a way and touch it too and say, oh yeah, okay, I know that, I remember that, I'm feeling that, and to awaken that just through the way I wrote. That was kind of part of the intention of this, was what I was supposed to do, was to open the door to that third place,
It's like the imagination. It's opening up the imagination, which is where the creation is, to see that all things are possible.
Yeah, exactly.
And you do that really well.
Oh, well, thank you. Yeah, that's what I was guided to do, which is sort of getting back to that whole angelic thing. Like I don't know if I mentioned angels very much in there, but I do know that, yes, and in my second book, which I'm going to work on, which I am working on, is I will definitely mention the angels more, because we are guided. There are another presence or another energy or other energies in our life that do show us how to do things and how to get to where we're going. And that's all part of that, being so open that everything falls into place, that you can hear that. Or like the other girl wrote, listening to the heart. I mean, you hear it call you. You know what you're supposed to do and how to do it, and you follow that.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, Dolly, do you guys want to talk a little bit more about the angels now too? Because we haven't brought that up much, but I had really wanted to go in your book, and I know on the next show you'll probably be talking about it a lot too. But I don't know. What do you think, Dolly?
I was kind of saving the angel talk with Sandy for the next show, because Christia Cummings Slack is going to be co-hosting on Say What, and she's an angel medium, so I was kind of saving that.
Perfect. I just wanted to make sure if there's anything you two wanted to get in on that more before, we go on to something else.
Yeah.
No, I'm really enjoying what y'all are saying. I like talking the positive and
Yeah. Well, for me, this, if anybody wants to sort of understand in more of rather than just saying, oh yeah, well just go find it in your heart, I would really recommend that you read William Samuel's book, The Child Within Us Lives, because also when you read my book, you'll see what a beautiful guide he was for me, because I put a lot of his personal letters in my book, and he wrote to me these beautiful letters that were so encouraging, just so encouraging to you're doing it, girl, you're finding it, you're getting it. And years later, when I read those letters, I just go, wow, he really saw something in me that I didn't see at the time. And yet I trusted his message. I trusted what he was saying. And so for me, I want to share with you, with whoever's listening, that if you read his book, The Child Within Us Lives, and if you've studied anything about metaphysics or Eckhart Tolle or the non-duality stuff, and you feel kind of stuck and burdened by it, and you think you're supposed to get somewhere or get rid of your ego, or if you read his book about this childlikeness, you see, he went on this same journey himself, and he went through all that sort of like a journey of discovery, let's say, that we all go through. And he took the same path that we all take, apparently, it looks like to me. We all go down the same kind of a journey. And when he wrote this final book about the child, to me, that book really helps guide the way kind of out of the framework of this sort of getting rid of the ego kind of thing, and it takes it out of that and lifts it to a higher place where you go, oh wait, I need to come back to myself. It isn't about getting rid of anything. It's about coming to find my own heart and my own beauty and my own self. And once you get to learn, once you kind of read his work, as I say, the more you kind of read it again, and then you can just kind of read just one little sentence, one little paragraph. You know how you open a book at a random place and it gives you a message? It's just magic like that. So I would really, if there's anything in what I'm sharing, and if you read my book and there's something in it that you say, I really want to hear more about how to do this, or because I don't instruct, but in many ways William Samuel does. He's a brilliant teacher, and he does know how to take you there. And so I would really recommend reading his book. And he's got 3 or 4 out there, but I would definitely recommend The Child Within. But the other of his books that he wrote before The Child, they also guided me to this. So I can't say that you shouldn't read those either. But I mean, I would say you should read those. How did I say that all wrong? You know what I'm saying? It's like I'm saying those are wonderful, and maybe step by step those lead to his child book. But for me, it's like the real essence of all this is this childlikeness that that book to me is a gift to this world as it is now. We need that book that he wrote. And he wrote it for these days we're in. You'll see when you read that. He saw all the turmoil. He saw all the upheaval. He saw what we would be going through. He knew why we'd be going through it. He knew that this would be a way to lead us back to this childlikeness, and that this was what we were supposed to be doing now. And if I can be like a little leading light through the forest, and if I can shine this light now and say, look, This is what we're supposed to find is our self, our heart, our truth, our way through ourself, through our own identity, through our connection to the divine and the higher realization of our true self. This is what we're here to do. And if my book can connect to that and then lead you to his book, I would feel that I did exactly what I was here to do.
Perfect. And you can find his books through your site too, right? And then also you had done an interview with Rick Archer, who has the Buddha at the gas pump, and I saw on your site you can also see that YouTube, and I think you also have a video or YouTube of William Samuel too, and I haven't watched that yet. But so there's a lot. All they need to do is go to celestialsong.com and they can find access to all what you're talking about of William Samuel, right? So
yes, exactly. And also all of his books are on Amazon also.
Good.
And if you go to my page on Amazon, it kind of connects to his books because they're all sort of related. But I think you can find your way to his books through my website or through Amazon. But yes, I would really recommend reading that Child Within book because that's what led me to discover this. I don't know if I would. I must say.
You would have, because I did, and I haven't really read his books. So you would have.
Yeah.
Yes, he's got, and I'd like to read that book. I want to read that one because you talked about it.
Yeah, you'll be fascinated because of his ability to, because when he wrote it and then seeing what's going on now, you go, oh my gosh, he really knew all this was going to be happening, and exactly how this child will take us through to the top of the mountain so that we will understand why all this is going on and what the purpose is, and then each of us becoming, again, like somebody said like that sweet girl said on there, giving strength to others, and finding the way to do that. We'll just be brave and we'll just say, hey, this is where it is. It's in the heart. It's here. Watch this, it's kind of like, you can do this. This is, it's a real encouragement, especially when the world looks so chaotic right now,
Yep. Wow, that's wonderful. Oh, well, we've got about 15 or 20 minutes left. Where should we go next? I'm sorry, your interviewer's kind of at a loss, but I don't know what else to. I did open up to one, but it kind of goes back to what we were talking, just like you said with his book. When you were talking, and we were talking about the sensuality and how vibrant the world, what I call the field or the plane is, I opened right up to page 38, and it talks about that. Could I read a little bit of that, or?
Yeah, if you want to. Does that seem right?
I don't want to. As long as no one else minds, I'll read a little bit, not a lot. Let's see. It is the joy, laughter, love, and beauty fully awakening to life. It feels like an angel comes to me, or perhaps a Tinkerbell of my own. She sprinkles me with cosmic glitter that sparkles in my soul. She scatters me with magic dust made of timeless light and of the starry skies and swirling planets at the edge of forever. This divine holy place in me touches up close to this earthly material life. The place of exchange is here within me. I feel the living presence. It moves me. It is me. My senses come alive. Everything feels alive. I am delighted by this as my physical senses have been awakened, aroused. I am pulsing with life. The colors are felt, know that one, and they vibrate and throb in the living beauty so deep. And so that, and then it goes on and on. But that is being in love with life, just like you would be with your lover or the beloved, which people talk about. That's the expression of it, I believe.
Yes, exactly. Yes. And it, for me, I know at this point in my journey that to discover this that we're talking about, this essence, the true self, this self that is connected to the divine. I mean, this is right where we are connected to God directly. And I feel that presence of God in everything that I do. And that childlikeness is the one that is connected to that and the one that brings it to me. There was almost a visionary thing, like this little child standing at the very peak of a mountain, at the very top, and that's where the child is, the top of the mountain. And then it's kind of like holding God's hand up above at heaven and holding my hand here on the mountain. And so it's like this connecting place. And I really feel, for me, this was the answer. This was truly where I really feel this is where the next step is to find this third. Oh, and every time I speak of it, like for me, the child is like the third. It's like there's like, yes, exactly, the Trinity. The child is the completion of the Holy Trinity. It's like, and I think I explained that in the book somewhere, but I know that William Samuel explains it kind of beautifully in his own way. But for me, it truly is the Holy Trinity, is this third piece and I didn't go there too much, but it is like, to me, this is what Christ consciousness is.
Yeah.
So this is what that little piece of the puzzle is. We are to find our own inner divine Christ, which is within all of us. We have all got that. And yet, when I speak of it as Christ, then for me, I think it has to be something, my image of holy. And to me, the child isn't holy in that way. It's holy in a joyful, happy, unpretentious. It doesn't have to wear a right robe, and it doesn't have to talk in monotone, and it doesn't have to say all these profound things. It just giggles and loves and dances, and hears the music, and it's a delight. It's a joy. And so I kind of take it away from that Christ consciousness, because to me, I always thought, oh my God, how am I ever going to be that? And when I found it, it was like, oh, but that is it. Didn't Jesus say something about lest ye become as little children? Yeah. And it's like, yes, just so bare, so raw, so open, so vulnerable, so unashamed. It's just exposed in many ways. And I
uninhibited.
Uninhibited. Right. Thank you. I knew there was a word for this. That's it. Exactly. And for me, when I think of Christ-likeness, I go, holy cow, I'm not even sure if I want to be that, Right. Where's all the fun? But, it's like, yes, there's a joy here. There's a delight here. There's a happiness here. There's a fun and a humor and a love and a yes, uninhibited, absolutely beautiful, free-spirited, and yet so, the word comes to me, thoughtful. There's a thoughtfulness that encompasses everyone and doesn't leave anyone out and wants to tenderly care and bring everyone to be able to find this and love and live this joyful freedom. So yeah, it's a gift. It's a divine gift, and I know that all of us can find this divine gift, and it is everybody's. So that's what I wanted to share, in somehow with that book and with connecting people to William. So, yes.
Awesome. Well, this has just been quite something. I wanted to read, I open up as you're talking, about certain things, and I found two parts when you were talking about William and then the Christ consciousness and the Holy Spirit and that essence of the childlike that may be the door. It says, there would have been no way, this is on page 130, you wrote, there would have been no way to this unbound love except through this childlikeness of myself rediscovered. The transcendent self of you, the child, is your soul. It is your own living authority, not beholden to human governments or religions. The child you are is strong, wise, bold, and solitary, no longer slave to dogma or doctrine. This holy essence of yourself knows how to navigate this world through dominion, grace, intelligence, and the light of greater understanding. And then where you were talking about, it says it's sensuous, carefree, and unrestricted on the next page, but it also says, I see its beauty for doing what it is here to do. It brings me patience and stamina, kindness, and generosity of mind and spirit. It brings me the light of knowing right from wrong. I know when I go off course. I know when I stay true to myself and when I'm right on target. If I go too far, I readjust easily, swiftly. I know how to return to my beloved equanimity. I am made new, but everything about me remains so familiar and comfortable. This is me. This is me. It is real.
Yes, that was also the beauty of this whole thing was the fact that when I found this, when I found myself, let's say, when I realized who I am, I realized it because it was who I am. It was so familiar. It was like, oh, I know you. I know who you are. You feel so comfortable and right to me. You fit. It's like you put on a shoe or a coat that it just, oh my gosh, you fit. This was me, and you recognize yourself. And I really feel like everybody will recognize when they find it that there'll be no doubt, because you go, oh wow, that's me. I know me when I see me. It's that kind of a feeling. It's like, wow, it's comfortable. It fits. That's the best way to say it. And then you don't want to lose it because it feels so right,
The words that kept coming first when you were speaking, it was homecoming. And when people say they want to go home, they think it's outside themselves. And it's a homecoming. And that's why it's so joyous.
Yes. And you know what? That's very true. And it's back to your own heart. Your heart, where they say your heart is your home, or a home is where the heart is. Well, it's exactly true. Somebody just wrote a little note here. I just noticed. It says, what does dominion mean to both of you, please? Yes, and often people will ask me that because my teacher, William Samuel, he would often say, and you will find dominion. And I always thought, well, that sounds weird, does that mean like I'm going to be all powerful over everybody or have some kind,
like a
tyrant, And what I discovered was he was absolutely right, and it's the most beautiful word. it is an inner dominion that means that you're fearless. It's like life doesn't scare you anymore. And in that, there is a dominion that says, oh, come and get me, do what we're going to do. It's like you have dominion in the sense that you are not afraid, I guess is for me what it really turned out to be. It's like the dominion, like when you're afraid, you're under something. But when you're not afraid, you're above. It's like you are flying free. It's like you've been unshackled. It's like you've been released. And it's that kind of a dominion that it's not a power over anyone else. It is a joy of freedom. It's like life cannot hurt me. Life is not going to get me, I mean, at least that's how it was for me, because I always, like life is risky business, and this just took me out of that completely. And so there's a freedom, and I do believe that that's what that really means. This dominion is, I am free, and nothing can scare me. Nothing can entrap me. Nothing can hold me down. Nothing can cause me to be imprisoned, And that's really, I think, what it means. I think, at least that's how it was for me. I kind of had to discover it on my own what it meant. Yeah. Because I did wonder about that too. I thought, wow, what a strange word. We will have dominion. And it just seems so, like you're going to go around, getting everything you want and having what you want. It isn't like that. It's a joyful freedom, I would say.
And as you were talking, I've never looked that word up. So I don't really know whatever their definition is, but as you were explaining it, I was also feeling like domain. You're holding a space of strength and power, but not over others, but of love. It's dominion, and that's where the non-fear comes in. You're just holding that space of love of whatever is, and knowing and the trust that everything will be fine. So it's your domain. Again, it goes back to your home.
Yeah, good point, Deb. That's right. That would be that too, I guess, wouldn't it? Yeah.
I know. I'm going to look it up when we get off the show, because I'm curious.
Yeah, dominion, like when you're home, you're safe kind of feeling, I mean, yeah, so to have dominion is I feel safe. I mean, that's really very good point. Yes, it is. I feel safe in this world. Oddly enough, I do. And it isn't that nothing's going to get me, but it's that I know everything's all right. I know that this love is with me at all times, and I am home. And what could be better than that, Yeah.
Okay, I'm getting all excited. Just time for the show to end. I'm all like, oh! Okay. Wow. Well, that was great, and that was a great question, too, whoever asked, because I'd never really thought about that word either, so that's interesting. Wow. Good.
Well, it was very good, girls.
Thank you both so much, and Colleen, thank you everybody in chat, and the questions, and for your book, Sandy, and for letting us come on here, and Sandy coming on. This was great, and I can't wait. I'm not going to go on. I'll sit in the background and listen, but I can't wait to hear about all the angel talk next. That'll be fun, I know.
And y'all are coming back next week, right?
Oh, yeah. Do you want me to, or you can?
Well, yeah.
Oh, okay.
You, Sandy, me, and Colleen.
Okay.
And whoever else I can get in.
Wrangle.
I asked Christy if she would, but she has plans for next week.
Oh, she does. Okay.
Yeah. So I've already asked her, but maybe Nancy can join us next week.
Oh, that would be fun. I think she would enjoy this, or
Yeah.
maybe get more questions or think of things. I think she would really like that too, and I think that would be a good addition. Because we've covered the intro in the book, and so we need, I'm sure there's lots more to talk about, but yeah, see if she will. That'd be great.
I will, but she has company now.
Oh, okay.
So I'll have to ask her, like after the company leaves.
Yep. But then again, she may pull us, her and Colleen, after we're done next week, she'll probably pull us into her show anyway, and we can do it all there.
Who knows?
Who knows?
We'll find out as the week progresses.
Well, Sandy, do you have any words to wrap up with, or any last thoughts or anything, or?
Oh my gosh, no, I think we really covered a lot of territory, but I just want to thank everybody for letting me share my heart and share my book with you, and I hope I answered. I'm not very good at like reading all the little questions and trying to talk at the same time. So I'm sure that there are people that can do that, but I'm not doing it too well. So if I missed anybody's questions or anything, you're welcome to get in touch with me anytime. I'm out here in the world, available to whoever needs or wants me. That's my journey. I am just here for you. That's what I'm doing now. And so, I would just, if anybody needs me, you can find me. And, I just love this so much. Thank you for inviting me, Deb, and for loving my book and for sharing. Yeah.
Thanks for liking it. Yeah, thanks for coming on. Thank you again, Dolly and Colleen, for giving us this opportunity. It was awesome. Thank you.
You're welcome. And let me know anytime you want to do this.
Okay.
So at this point, I have to say goodbye to everybody. And you heard we're going to end up with a round table next week because Colleen even suggested I ask Lee Brown to come in on it.
Oh, good.
So we'll kind of have a round table next week if we can get it together.
Okay.
And I want to thank you, Deb. I want to thank you, Sandy. And please hold on, Sandy. Don't hang up.
Don't hang up, Sandy. Okay.
You could just, when we end the show, you could just mute until we can bring you in on the next one.
Okay, and tell me how to do that. When we're off the air, whatever you need to do, but I don't know how to do that.
When you...
Go ahead, Dolly.
When you go up in the black area where the pictures are, and those blue and red things show up, circles.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, the second circle in says mute your mic.
Oh, yeah, it does.
There you go. Click on that. And then when you want to unmute, you go to the same place.
Cool.
Just remember to turn it back on when you want to talk.
Yeah, please.
Because we'll tell you. Mute your mic, unmute your mic, get your headphones, or get your mouthpiece down by your mouth, not over your head, Dolly.
I know.
And I forget, too, and I have to be reminded. It's no big deal.
So when will you? When am I coming? If I mute you, how long a minutes will you guys be back?
Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and keep this call so everybody's still on it, and then I'm going to pull Nancy and her guest, which is Christia.
Yeah.
Okay. Christia Cummings-Slack.
Yes,
yeah.
Christia Cummings-Slack in. So you don't have to do anything but mute your mic, and you'll still be able to hear us because it's still going to be on this call.
Right, they just won't hear you. So and I'm going to hang up, listen from the radio.
You're pulling Nancy in?
For what?
Yes.
I thought she asked me to come in because she wasn't going to be able to make it.
Oh.
Boy, am I confused on that.
Well, I didn't know about that.
I guess we'll find out.
We'll find out because we'll call her, and if she's busy, she says, I can't talk right now.
All right, I'll be hanging out. Whatever happens, you let me know.
Okay.
What,
and I can disconnect from the call, right? I can go ahead and disconnect from the call because I'm not going to be on it. So I'll just listen from the radio.
Okay, you can do that too.
Okay. Because you don't need me. You guys, unless you want me there, I'll
Well,
sit
you
and
can.
mute.
No, you're welcome to stay.
Okay, but I'll mute. I mean, I didn't.
Well,
okay.
we might ask you something, so you'll be there and you can unmute, right?
All right. I just wanted to see if you wanted me to or not. I'm more than willing to hang up and stay in the background, you know. But if you want me to stay on mute, I will.
Yeah, do that.
We'll just do it like a normal conversation. If you have something to say, speak up. And if you don't, sit back and chill and listen.
There you go. All right.
Okie doke.
We're going to go mute.
Turning it back to you, Dolly.
Thank you, everybody, for listening to the DID show, Dilly Dallying and Dolly World. And I'm turning it over to Colleen now for the Say What show.
Okay. Now I'm going to do Dolly's outro, and then I'll put on some music while I pull Nancy and Christia in, or maybe just Christia. And then we'll be back.